G'day all, welcome back to Built by Chris. In this episode I'm going to show you how I made this sign. This is my first commissioned piece on my CNC machine, and I was very happy with the way it turned out. So let me show you how it all came together. So that's the milling up process done. As you can see, the panel is now glued up and in clamps, and I'm just waiting for it to dry. So while I'm waiting for that to happen, I'm going to go inside and get the artwork ready for the CNC machine. Okay, here we have the glued up panel. Just going to take it out of the clamps now. It's been drying for about an hour or so. I figure that'd be enough. And there we have the panel. Beautiful. Now what I'm going to do, before I start cutting it down to size, is I'm just going to give it a light sand. Just so that I'm sure that everything is nice and level, because I feel a little bit of a lip there. Everything else is okay. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a sand, and then we'll put it on the, or I'll cut it down to size, and then I'll put it on the CNC table. I've imported the file into Easel, which is the software that runs the CNC machine. And because I'm going to do it in two separate paths, I've set up two separate files. So my first file here is just the outline or the border around the job. If I click on it, it'll tell you that I've got a 2mm depth that I want it to cut. And it's cut on shape path, so whatever the path is, it's going to cut it here. And you can see it, if I just scroll into it, you can see it right here. Now it's going to cut around here, make a nice wide border on this thing. And I've set it up so that it's centered on the board. So that's the first one. Now the second one, actually we go back to the first one. I've got here, I've set it up that I've got a 3.2mm bit in there, which will give me that nice thick border. Now the second pass, I've got it set up with a 2mm bit in there, and it's going to be carving out the actual lettering. So if I bring it around, you can see here, and again if I click on one of these letters, you'll see that I've got it set to a 2mm depth. But in this case, I'm cutting out a pocket. So whatever the letter is, I'm going to be cutting out these pockets. And these are the ones I'm going to be filling with, well, paint in this case. So if I just scroll that out, you can see there's the job. And you can see on the angle that it's cut to a 2mm depth. So there it is, there's the job. And I've got it set here, I've got the size set, I've got everything set ready to go. All I've got to do now is plug the CNC machine into the laptop, and away we go. Okay, one thing I didn't show you guys is I actually taped up the board after I cut it, and then I cut all these letters out individually. In hindsight, what I should have done was tape the board up first, then cut it on the CNC, because then it'd be nice and clean, and it makes life a lot easier. Now, the reason I've done this is when I've sprayed the letters in here in the border, it's going to give me a lot less cleanup time on here. So there's going to be, I think, a little bit of bleed under here, because I think the timber that I've used allows a little bit of bleed, but at least it's not going to be a great big sanding job. So let's take this tape off. And there it is. All the tape's taken off. And there's the sign. Let me show you that. Here we go, look at that. Okay, now as expected, there's a little bit of bleed here and there, but not as much as what there was going to be. There's a little bit of tape residue on here, so I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of, I don't know, metho, acetate, whatever I've got, just to clean it off. Then I'm going to give it a light sand, and I'll put the finish on it. Now, one last thing before I put the finish on it. The customers requested a weathered look. By that, to look like a sign that's been up for, I suppose, 100 years. So I'm just going to grab my angle grinder and my trusty file, and I'm just going to go around these edges and beat them up, I guess, for want of a better word. So let's see how that turns out. Now the stain I'm applying is called gunstock, and the colour that it's going to be is that one there. That's not too bad. I reckon that looks nice, gives it a nice weathered look. So let's start applying. Now I'm going to give it a fair bit, let it sit for a while. And then wipe off the excess. Beautiful. I'll let that sit for a couple of minutes, let it soak in a bit, and I'll wipe off the excess. We'll see how it looks. Well, for someone who doesn't have any creativity, I think that turned out pretty good. Comments below, please. Let me know what you think of that. Well, there you have it. That's how it all came together. In the end, I'm again very, very happy with the way it turned out. There was a couple of stipulations that the customer wanted. Black lettering and the edges to be distressed to look like it's a really, really old sign. And I think I've captured that, which makes me very happy. And considering I don't have a creative bone in my body, I think it turned out really, really well. Now, if you liked what you saw on this video, please give me a thumbs up. That really helps me a lot. If I think I've deserved it, give me that subscription. Again, that'll make me very happy. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye for now.